Alright guys, so this is the video that I promised you guys. So in this video, we will talk about different ways on how I realized that I had to get out of my relationship and how I made the move. So number one, the most important thing is becoming aware. Becoming aware. So that means that you know that that relationship that you are in is not good for your mental health. It's bringing you down. It's belittling you. It's making you feel less than. You just don't feel happy. You don't feel at peace with yourself. And so for me, like I was telling you guys in my previous video, that for me, like I said, it wasn't like it was like crazy toxic. It was more just a feeling that I had, that I felt like I had more to live for. I felt like I wanted to be in love with the person that I was with. I didn't just want to wake up every day and see a man that like I really didn't really feel anything for. And that's pretty much what it was becoming. And I really just felt that he deserved to be with someone that really loves him and that really cared for him, and that, you know, someone that was really in love with him, because by the 5th year, that was not me. That was not me. And a lot of my family and my friends did pressure me to stay with him because he was a great man. And trust me, like, the man never told me no and things of that sort. And it's not like he's a bad person. It's just, you know, I think our age difference and the direction that I was going and the direction that he was going, like, we're just two different people. And I started to notice that. And so that's when I was like, no, like, I think I'll be okay if I let this relationship go. But it was really hard, you know, because I had to let go of the idea of ever having that family that I always wanted. And guys, that really hurt me to this day. But I did realize that even though I may not have the family that I always wanted, I could recreate that in a different way for me, like however that looks for me. And so the last 3 years, it's 3 years single, but I consider it like 4 years, because that last year that we lived together, we really were not together at all. So I say it's like 4 years, but then 3 years of actually moving out and being single. So the last 3 years, I've been able to create a different life for myself. And these are some of the things that I would definitely recommend that you guys sit with yourself and think about. But number one is definitely going to be becoming aware. So understanding that this relationship no longer serves you. And this is a really hard conversation to have with your friends and family, because they don't really know what's going on in your life. And so they may tell you to stay with that person for the kids. But ultimately, if it's a domestic violent relationship, you have to understand that what happens is you're actually making it worse, because your kids are going to emulate that in their relationships as they get older. And it's just a proven fact. So whatever your kids see your husband or your boyfriend do or your girlfriend do, they are going to emulate those traits in their relationships to come. So just think about that. Now, once you've realized that, you know, things have to change, you have to be the one to make the changes, because that person is already programmed in their ways. Now it's about you taking control of the situation and realizing that you really do have the ability to control your future and the things that you do want in it. And this is one of the hardest things, because a lot of this comes with self-belief. And a lot of us do not have self-belief within us, because we have been told our whole life that we cannot do things that we actually could do. So I am going to be here to guide you guys and to hold your hand. If you guys do need anything, please feel free to DM me, email me, call me, whatever the situation may be. I will be here to give you my best resources, my best advice, and just to be, you know, a shoulder to cry on if that's what you guys do need. I know for me, I didn't have really any guidance. A lot of the people that I did see in relationships didn't have the best relationships, and so I found myself just maneuvering through, you know, this last relationship that I was in alone, and, you know, going based off of like just what felt right for me. And even though it was completely wrong what society told me that I should be, I had to make that decision for myself. And so one day I really just woke up, and I would do this thing every New Year. To this day, I do it. I let go of relationships that are no longer serving me. And it was New Year's Eve, and I let him know that I wanted to downgrade our home and get a 1-bedroom, and we would just save our money until, you know, we figured out what was next. And that's exactly what happened. So again, you have to be aware, becoming aware of how you're feeling. And I know a lot of people will say like work out your relationships and this and that, but honestly, at what point are you gonna stop feeling depleted? And that's what you have to ask yourself. If you're waking up every day and you can barely, go throughout the day, this person's bringing you down, constantly belittling you, like that's not healthy at all whatsoever. Number 2, I would say is definitely, get support. So this means talking to friends and family and being honest with them, but only talk to people that you can trust. You don't want this to get back to your significant other. This is private, confidential information that you want to talk to with your friends and your family. And you want to just let them know what you're going through. And if a situation was to arise, if you would be able to stay with them in the meantime. Make sure that you guys have family, child care set up. That way, if a situation was to arise, who could watch the kids, or a daycare you would put them in. Things of that sort. So all the little details do matter. And if you don't know anyone that could watch your kids, then you get referrals based off your friends and your family. The next thing I would say would be vocal about it. Like definitely talk to your partner and, let them know that things aren't working out and, you're having second thoughts, and whatever the situation may be, you're gonna get an idea of how they're gonna react. So then this is how we would be able to create a better plan. So I'll talk to my significant other and I'll let them know how I feel. Either they're gonna flip out, they're gonna be like, you ain't going nowhere, I'll kill you, I'll hurt you, things of that sort. Then you're gonna have to create a different plan than the one that, sounds the easiest. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult, but there is ways around it. So that's what I did. I would always tell him, like, you know what, like I'm gonna leave and just watch, and he wasn't abusive or nothing like that, so he would always just laugh in my face. But you have to be vocal about it and just let them know, that whatever the situation is, like it's coming. And yeah, so that would be number 3. Number 4, I would say create a plan. So after you kind of know their vibe, then you want to be able to create a plan of action. So this means that we're gonna have different scenarios. Let's say there's an abusive episode, and you feel like this is the time to leave. Because anytime that there's an abusive episode, it really is your time to leave, because it's only gonna get worse, and the manipulation and the gaslighting is only going to get worse, and it'll suck you in, and it's very confusing because you love the person, but you feel like if you leave them that, like you're just letting go of everything that you ever worked hard for. And I'm here to let you know that that is not the case. I promise you that there's so much better waiting on the other side for you. But the only way that you're ever going to be able to get there is if you let go of, the things that are bringing you down right now. So creating a plan is going to look like figuring out who you would stay with if there was a situation that happened, right? For me, I had my brother, and I was so blessed. I was so thankful I had my brother. My mom was living at that house at the time, and my sister and my 2 brothers. So I was able to move back home. Me and my daughter slept on a twin bed for about a year before I moved out. And, it was a struggle, but I was thankful. I didn't care where I was. I just did not want to be in that relationship anymore. So I did whatever it took after that second time of him going to jail. And so those are the things that you guys have to take into consideration. You guys have to get a plan. You have to make multiple plans, not just one, not just 2, at least like 3 to 4 different plans of different scenarios. Once you do that, you're gonna want to start really digging within and building that mental strength and believing in yourself and knowing that like what you want is on the other side. Don't think for one day that you cannot do it. You are meant to conquer whatever struggles are being thrown your way. Like God is not going to give you these struggles if he doesn't think that you can handle them. And all these things, and even though they're hard, it's you just constantly getting back up, dusting yourself back off, and you're going to have one bad day. And maybe it's not the day that you leave, but sometimes you're going to have to turn your head to certain things just to survive. So, you are in survival mode, but at the same time, you're building up that mental strength. You're getting that plan. You're talking to your friends and your family. You're becoming aware. You know, maybe start therapy. Definitely, I know therapy really helped me. Realizing that the things that I wanted and the things that I thought were not wrong. So therapy has been such a huge impact in my life. So if you guys can afford it, I definitely highly encourage you guys to invest into therapy or spiritual coaching. I also did spiritual coaching alongside therapy. That really helped me. For me, I realized a lot of my trauma growing up. I was sexually abused. I was just in abusive relationships my whole life, pretty much, like from family abusing me. So from those patterns of being a kid, those are all the things that I allowed in my life. So now it's time to go back to those things and deal with those things. So those are like our childhood traumas. So you're gonna have to dig back in and understand like the root of those things. And like I said, this is gonna be a process, but it's about being realistic. It's about being real. It's about understanding your true power that you hold, because you really do create your own future. Every decision you make is gonna matter, in the near future. And so, once you know your plan, and you've built up this mental strength, you have to let go of that idea of whatever it is, whatever expectation that you set out for that relationship. You have to understand that once you let this go, like, that's it, and you have to just accept whatever comes with it. That person is gonna get into another relationship, whatever the situation, your worst nightmares that you can think of that person, you have to literally live in your head. And so I literally lived that in my head as I let him go. I didn't carry any hate in my heart for him or resentment. As sad as I was, that I know that I deserved a ring on my finger, I didn't hold it against him. And maybe I did for a little bit, but at the end of the day, I truly believe that it was God's way or the universe's way of just, letting me know that there's something better out there for me. And that's what you guys have to understand. Like, you have to learn to completely detach. And I'm not saying that it's easy. And I'll do another video on detachment, because that's a whole other situation in itself. But I've really become a master of detaching from things that no longer serve me. There's a lot of different elements, in which have built me to who I am today. And so these are a few things that you could do. Another thing that I highly encourage you is just get to work. So whatever side hustle you have right now, or even if you don't have a side hustle, maybe save up for a side hustle, because you're gonna need more income. You're gonna need more income to start saving, okay? So get a separate account, a secret account. Maybe give the card to your mom and then just throw her money and have her deposit that money. So that way, if anything hits the fan, you have a bank account that has money in it. I highly recommend you work on your credit. I definitely worked on my credit because I needed that in order to get my apartment. So work on your credit. There's plenty of credit card companies out there that could help you. If you guys need a recommendation, let me know. So working on your credit, getting to work, either finding your side hustle, saving money for your side hustle, or getting to work in your side hustle. So literally just turn your head the other way, and you're gonna work and you're gonna focus on whatever has to be done. So if it's the housework, because you can't leave yet, right? You can't leave because you don't really have the financial stability to leave yet. So you have to understand, okay, so I'm just gonna do what I have to do right now. I'm gonna get this account. I'm gonna, let the people know like what my plans are, and I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna put my head down, turn my head the other way, and I'm gonna work and save and work and save. And just know that with every day, you're gonna be a little bit closer. And that's exactly what happened to me, into the day where I finally, there was a final situation that happened. He was like, oh, you know what? So he bought me a car, and supposedly it was my car. It was the car that I always wanted. And he had threatened, like, yeah, like, you keep acting like that, like, give me the keys to the car. And I was just like, oh, okay, so you're gonna leave me with just a car and not the truck that I needed for my 3 kids. And I was just like, okay. I had money in my account, my credit was good. I went down the street, and applied for my apartment, got approved. I'll never forget. I started crying. I could not believe that I got approved. Because the first time I had applied, I didn't get approved. So the second time around, I got approved. And so that was such a huge moment for me. I went back, I showed him everything. He couldn't believe it. He was like, wow, he started crying, and it was the best day of my life. I'm not gonna lie. So again, you're going to get to work. Start saving as much money as possible, get your secret account, and just understand that like you're gonna get there. Do the work, read the books, go on YouTube, look up detaching, look up how to let go of someone that you love. All these little things, right? You have to be willing to put in the work and absorb the information, guys. None of this is gonna come easy, but I promise you, like there's an end result to it. So yeah, like I just think it's about all these little steps that I just told you, and asking for help. If you need help, like don't be afraid to ask your friends and family for help, whether that's watching your kids, little things like that. Like don't be afraid. Make sure you're able to, you know, get certain resources from people that you know have them. Don't be afraid. We all need help. And I was very thankful that, you know, my friends and family were there to support me and help me when I needed them. And I know not all of us are as lucky, but trust me, if you are a single mom and you're dealing, you know, with something like this, or you're with a guy that you don't have a kid with, thank God that you don't have a kid with him, because that's going to be super easy when you do cut ties. The only hard part about this is that in domestic violence relationships, these guys will do, you know, horrible things if they're rubbed the wrong way and if they feel that hate towards you. So you just want to make sure that the people around you are aware, so that way if something does happen, that way the people around you can help you and, you know, just keep an eye out for you. So these are just a few of the things that helped me as I let go of my last relationship. What you guys could do is, like, whatever side hustle it is that you do have, start teaching, you know, but make sure that it's a quality course that you're teaching. Make sure that you are passionate about it. I know for me, being able to teach has just opened up new doors for me that I never thought possible. And so I've just been blessed enough that, you know, I put in the work, but anyone could do it. Like anyone could do it. Whatever it is that you are good at, create a course on that and start teaching that. And then I will be making more videos as far as like marketing goes and how to do social media and things of that sort. But guys, these are the things that helped me. I really sacrificed a lot. I said no to a lot of parties. I said no to hanging out. I literally was so obsessed with becoming the next version of myself that I was able to leave that relationship. So those are some of my tips on how I was able to get out of my toxic relationship. I hope that these helped you guys. These are very real tips that did work for me, and I only talk through experience. But I am praying for you guys, and I'm here for you guys if you guys do need anything. So again, feel free to reach out. But with that being said, I will see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.